What's up, fam? Yo, guys, happy Monday to you all. Been a crazy week in crypto. Saw some big gains. Welcome back to the meme coins, right? Just giving us a little hint that it's time for retail to come back, right? Now, again, I still think there is one more leg where retail really come flying in, right? And I want to speak about a little trap today because I do think it's important to know that the market now is going to things have changed. And what's basically changed now is market's aggressive again, right? It is a no-brainer right now that we are feeling the bullishness and the market's giving bullishness, which is incredible. And I think we have the right to say so, right? We look at Bitcoin in the weekly here. We are now, if we look at percentage-wise, we are now 5% away from all-time highs, right? We are 5% away from everyone becoming drunk people all over the place and everyone just making damn cash, right? The market's getting to a point where it's ready to start diversifying. And again, what's obviously incredible now is altcoins are starting to wake up, which is really good. This little move here, these two little green candles here, have really given us some great altcoin moves, right? And again, big thank you to Ethereum. Thanks, Ethereum. We've missed you. Thank you for helping us bring this Bitcoin dominance down. And what we're seeing now is another strong weekly candle. And again, what this kind of reminds me of is this phase over here that we saw here that really gave us a strong November. That's what kind of got us all very excited for an alt season. Okay, and I still think not only is this going to come, I actually think it could really be the top of the cycle when it comes to Bitcoin dominance and really just give us the most insane couple of months of our lives. But the important thing to understand is this market is now volatile. It is now crazy. And I want to speak about a trap. I do want to show you guys this before I start off the show. And it's where you need to be bullish, right? We need to be bullish as hell right now, but we need to be the sober ones at the party that are still seeing things clearly. What you could see on Bitcoin right now is a slow move to the upside. And all that it's brought me to attention to is we really have to get going. And I'll show this now as we start the show, but we really have to get going. We've got to cancel this little pattern that we are forming here on the 1 hour, because what it's basically showing us now is this could be around the corner. And again, all this is just trap late buyers, right? And then continue. So when the market rises up, you will have these strong rallies up, you will have a quick shakeout, and then things will go. And anyone that basically bought over here will really feel the pressure to get out over here. Okay. And those who bought in over here and basically said, hey, maybe I'm either going to take the profit or want to add to my positions, are going to add over here. So all you're going to see is an exchange of hands yet again. But for as long as we're in this little pattern over here, we must get ready. Hey, this can happen. And this is where we want to buy. This is where we really want the opportunities to pay attention to. And again, we want to always be on this side when we're opening up trades. And we want to be on this side when we're obviously looking to close some trades or anything like that. So again, today I have tons of altcoins. I have tons of plays. I do have the bullish scenario, 100%, that we just keep going straight up from here. But we also got to speak about where's our next opportunity? Where realistically should we buy again? Right? In order to do that, you got to know what's kind of going on. So guys, happy weekend or happy Monday to you all. I hope you all had a fantastic weekend. Now let's get ourselves set for the week. Let's look at some weekly time frames. Let's look at the short time frames. Let's look at what altcoins are performing. Let's get ourselves in a mindset of what's kind of looking a little bit weak, what's looking in great zones. And also, where do we put some stop losses if we are winning trades and we just have beautiful entries that we just don't want to get rid of, right? Let's go through all of this together. No more wasting time. Happy Monday. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like Sniper. Welcome to Shallow Show.
So fam, how are we doing, guys? Hit the like button. You're in the market. You're feeling good. You're feeling strong. That's what it's about. But again, we are here to fight the marathon, not the sprint. This is not the end, right? This is where we just shift our damn mindsets and become beasts at what we do, right? Which means let's be a little bit in tune with the markets and let's be sober, right? Let's be sober. Let's make sure we're seeing things correctly. And again, we were screaming 2 weeks ago, hey. I've actually been screaming for 3 months, right? To say that the tides will return. Things will move again. And again, look how damn fast things start to recover, right? Bitcoin's back, baby. You know, Bitcoin's really looking, it's looking strong. We actually used to have such a great Bitcoin song here. We really do. I want to see if it's even here anymore. It was so good. Okay, but I'll find it. I'll find it. But nonetheless, we do have, look how fast Bitcoin is now making its way back. And let's get you to the Bitcoin chart. There we go. Bitcoin's close now, guys. This is exciting, right? And then what obviously happened then is the big change that we needed. And it actually came from an FOMC, even though it sounded quite hawkish last week. But actually straight after, the market didn't tank, right? And from that, I think the market kind of got bored I think over this last 3 months, everyone's realized that all the news and everything around the world has made people terrified. Okay, but not actually much really happened. And I think now people are like, okay, we're done being terrified. Let's go make money again, right? People are kind of at that point where they've heard the same thing so many times. So therefore, when Powell didn't say anything unexpected or something that changed, it's weird how the day later market started booming, right? And this was a big zone for Bitcoin. Get through this 94, and we are well off to the main all-time high resistance. Okay, so now we're in this area. And the moment that we just click through that zone over there and realize that Bitcoin is now safe again, okay, boom, there comes the altcoins. Altcoins come and say what's up. Remember, altcoins are your crazy friends. You don't want to get them too early at the party because they rough up the place too quickly. But you also know that they're vibe of a friendly of the place. And I actually relate to this a lot because I got these type of friends, right? If I'm going to a very strict business meeting, I'm not taking them. But when the drinks come out after and we're going to have a good time, they vibe of the place, right? And that's altcoins. Altcoins are the one that let's make sure the club can handle this type of thing, and that's Bitcoin. Get it to a safe place. Okay, it's safe. Bring in the crazy crowd, right? And the crazy crowd comes in. Who's got friends like that? Say in the chat. I got friends like that. I will not take them to a business meeting, but I'll take them when the vibes are, when the music kicks on. They're the best vibe you could ever get. So I bring them in, right? Being responsible. But nonetheless, the moment we had that, altcoins started to wake up. Now, altcoins are going to fight the same problem as Bitcoin. You just we gotta kind of be grateful at this point because Bitcoin's kind of being that big daddy token that's kind of leading the race for us, right? Giving us what we kind of want to see happen. And what you could see that when Bitcoin started off this weekly push, it was that big zone that made the difference. That basically got us into a very strong route. Now, the same thing that you're going to see over here in altcoins is now sitting in where Bitcoin was, right? You see that over there. Now, what happened when Bitcoin attempted this area first? Right? We actually had a slowdown. And we had a small rejection. And remember, the market, and I'll zoom in here. Remember how the market just did this, right? It basically chopped around for a little bit because it's the important wall here. So it had the first little rejection and it chopped around for a bit. And altcoins also chopped. So I'm expecting that if the market wants to kind of play very similar to what had just happened to Bitcoin, we might see a little bit of turbulence here from the altcoins. Now, again, this is phenomenal because I've been sitting on my hands with a little bit of cash, and we obviously know I'm in a lot within the market, right? But I want to redeploy. I want to start building some new positions and some alts that are finally breaking resistance. I saw Thorchain broke out. Look at the Thorchain breakout. You know, shit's breaking out. I want to go buy some new stuff, right? Like that's where I'm at, which means for me here, turbulence is good. And it's basically saying that if there is going to be a trap, this is very likely where it's going to happen in altcoins. Now, it's also telling us it's not going to be big. It's not going to be this huge crash where we have this big red one over here. But it does tell us that we could have this little pool here, and from there we go, right? A little bit of turbulence this week over 2, 3, 4 days. We sit here. It may be sooner. It all depends, and I'll go through the short-term scenarios now, okay? But this is where we really want to pay attention to some buys over here. And after that, we should start getting ready for altcoins to go into the next phase, which is the phase that Bitcoin just did. When that happens, what is then going to happen is altcoins are always going to be basically one phase behind Bitcoin. So now altcoins will go into the phase 2 section after this little turbulence now. And what Bitcoin is going to do is go into phase 3. And phase 3 is breaking all-time highs, where it starts making its way. And again, my kind of target here for the next push is around the 130 to 140,000. In that time, what you're then going to have is obviously altcoins come and really start joining the party and start getting warmed up. And then there's going to be a phase. And remember, this is the game plan. I always have a game plan, and I always then look at both scenarios within, okay? And once Bitcoin then gets to this area over here, okay, then we'll have maybe a little cool down or a little rejection. And in that time, your altcoins will then be ignited and we will see the full burn run, right? We really get going very quickly. And we want to kind of do a lot of the hard work now, guys. Before this all happens, we want to be in set, best entries of our lives, fully understanding, smarter than ever, and just rocking it, right? A lot of people are going to kind of come in and FOMO in. You know what? Leave them to me. I'll try my best to get people in as much as I can in a safe way, right? As possible. But nonetheless, this is why the opportunity is big for us now. So now that we're over here, let's also realize little trap territory over here. Fantastic. But nonetheless, any pullbacks from here into support are great buy zones. You go through a couple of the altcoins. There's your ETH. ETH is now popping, but has it really begun? Has it really started? Not just yet. So a little bit of turbulence here, and then let's get ETH getting back to the 4Ks, right? Just give you a good understanding. We've only just begun. The next leg is the big one. But this is where a cool down could start, and from here, you know that this wave, the next wave is going. They always say the third wave is bigger than the first wave, right? And what does that mean? That means that if you have a first wave, second wave, third wave is the big one. This is the one that really gets you going. Okay, and that's the next wave we're going to look for now, is that wave to really get moving over here. So again, any sort of turbulence now is celebration. I want more views on shows where markets are pulling back than when they're going up now, because that's when we like, woohoo, we can buy, we can get going, we can get moving with things, right? A couple of key altcoins that are also breaking out a little bit, and I want to go through a couple here. Let's actually quickly look at the bubbles. Look at a couple of the big ones. So just a little bit more on high time frame, and I'll jump into short time frame here. But just really getting idea with meme coins. Now, you guys know that for me, meme coins have never really been my thing, and they probably will never be my type of thing, right? But meme coins can be very powerful to catch the bigger run. We now know they are very bad to the downside. So what you're seeing now is you're seeing a bunch of the memes run, right? Which is good. If you catch them perfectly on a great time, they are amazing. But just remember that these are basically also going to be your retail hunters. Right? Every time in a cycle, and ever since I've started, you're going to have alts that are going to really, they're going to be something so random, it's going to get the whole world interested, okay? And it's actually going to take eyes away from the real legitimacy we have in crypto, right? But it's going to bring a ton of users into crypto, right? A lot of people come and buy memes, but yet Solana's a chain that's all happening. So Sol is still the core one, but people won't see that. They'll see the memes. But look at this, guys. Look at the moment that you see that risk is gone, how things start to move. But make sure you're timing correctly. Very important. But same thing here. We go, they're probably going to keep running. And you know what? They're probably going to break all-time highs and move through. Just remember that these are here to make money. These are retail grabbers. Remember in 21, we had NFTs. NFTs came into the space. That's what got everyone excited, and people were paying $1 million for a face, and we're paying $200,000 for a monkey, and all of these type of things, right? So, but it got people to pay $200,000 for a monkey, right? It got $200,000 into crypto from people, right? So this is where it really becomes this play over here, and the fact that these things are running again should excite you that retail's coming. Should excite you that this pump is actually real, right? That we are actually seeing. Because if we were just pumping and these things weren't, then we're like, what's going on here? But the fact that you have risk like this, and people are like, I was looking at Pepe's volume again, billion, 2 billion on one exchange, like billions are coming in within the meme coins again. So this is good. Again, just time it, guys. Simple tools, your weekly stocks, getting to the top, telling you in the next 2-3 weeks, take a little bit of profits on your damn long-term memes. You know, just make sure, and then go buy some Bitcoin. Right? Just make sure that you are keeping yourself level-headed with the junk over here. A couple of ones that I'm also paying attention to that I think can break out next on the weekly is something like TON. TON hasn't moved for a while. Telegram, huge, right? One of the best alts that were there. Also looking to pop its head now on the weekly. So as an investment opportunity, something looking really good here to kind of just hold for a little while. But you see how I'm sticking to the recipe. Right? The recipe again, and I use Pepe as an example, the recipe was when it just broke out the media trend, right? And again, you always want to find the trend that is nearest to where it is. Either it was that long one, if you bought over there, that's it. But you see where it really gets going. When it breaks this high is when it gets going. So again, if I look at going back to TON over here, where's TON going to explode? Now it's giving me the first early signs, but where's it really going to explode? When it gets through there, right? Then it's going to go. So this high quality token is still cheap. Right? And it really gives you a good idea to just go through and have a look and see where is the quality and how and following the recipe. Okay, amazing. Let's jump in and let's speak a little bit of interesting things here at the moment. Okay, so what you are seeing is a little bit of a bearish pattern forming. Now, again, there's two options here. This bearish pattern can be canceled, but you need to be very much aware that there is one that is printing right now. And the only difference that is happening over here is when something has basically pumped and it starts to go like this. When it starts to go to an upward trend, guys, there's a little bit of a warning sign here. There's a warning sign that, yes, it's now had a strong pump and it's going sideways, but it's telling you that, hey, this thing has to continue pretty quickly, because if not, it's actually forming a trap. And why it's so good is because when it goes up, people will just see slowly it's just going more up and more up and more up, and it keeps you in that mentality, bull, 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 this is good, this is good, this is good. But what you don't realize is momentum is actually slowing down a little bit. And this gives a perfect opportunity for them to trap you and then to continue up over here. So as long as we are printing this over here, we've got to understand that, hey, it's telling us that, because remember, everyone's leveraging again. Longs are going crazy again. Everything's going mad again, right? People are starting to get drunk again. So this is free money, right? Free money to flush out, free money at any point. And there's a lot of irresponsible trading that's happening at this point. So this gives an opportunity, boop, and then continue. We must just be the ones that are sober enough to know that that's printing. Now, again, the next option here is, okay, rather just speed it up, confirm, right? So get out of this thing, go. Then we know, okay, sweet, this thing's going to rock on a little bit harder. So it kind of puts you in a little bit of place today when it comes to some trades, to kind of sit on those hands a little bit. And I would rather wait for it to break out and buy this retest than buy right now when it comes to some short-term trades. Again, I showed you on the high time frame, you can buy some TON today. TON is amazing for the high time frame. But when it comes to your trades and what you're trading right now, this you've got to be very smart and play part of the game. So this is what will cancel is a breakout. Is Bitcoin actually goes from today and smashes through all-time highs. This will be some new entries over here. Until then, I just want to show you and just go back here and just show you a couple of scenarios over here when something starts to go a little bit slow to the upside. But remember, we're in an uptrend, right? So pay attention to the uptrend. Just before over here, do you see how we broke out? Right? But do you see how we made this little uptrend here? The same pattern that we're seeing right now. You see that? Do you see what happened? Trap and then get going. What is bullish, guys? I just remind you what's bullish again. It's when something goes up and chops down. That is bullish. When there is an angle to the downside, that is the bullish one over there. When it's going up, it's just telling you, hey, little sign. So again, here probably got people very bullish for the Bitcoin breakout, and that's when the trap came in. But then after that, bullishness, right? Buy that. So that's what we want to pay attention to over here. But I also just want to go back and just show you guys a few little scenarios. I did see them a little bit earlier of when things are basically moving up. So again, why I want us to keep practicing this mentality is because these signals actually come at the tops, right? Not the full tops, but later on when the bull market's flipping high as hell, okay, we got to know that these are important. You see this over here. You can just see it nice and clearly that it gives you this little sign that things are great, but there's actually a small uptrend over here. Okay, we got it. Just wanted to make sure that you are nice and alerted over there so that we are not surprised if something comes at any point over here. Oh, and I remember the big pullback from Bitcoin. I remember we were also going in this upwards trend over here. Just want to show you guys. See this big upwards trend here? And that's what kind of created this chop that happened then after that. Okay, so let's jump straight into this over here and let's go through a couple of things. I'm going to go through the trap scenario. I do think the market can have a small pullback now. Okay, so here is the trap scenario. Now, again, the trap scenario is yet to catch out leverage. Just liquidate a bunch of people or stop out a bunch of people. Because right now, if you kind of look at the ratios of the world, you'll probably see around 60 to 70% are longing the market versus 30% that are shorting and maybe selling into the market. So that you need that little midterm rebalance where it kind of gets everything back into even playing fields, where it gets rid of those late buyers and also gives an opportunity for exchange of hands to happen. Okay, so this, if we start the trap, again, your signal is going to be the break of the bottom trend, right? Give it a little signal over here. Guys, it is not going to last long. So what happens here is this is very likely. It's going to happen in two ways, right? If this trap now from here comes and shakes out like this, okay, it's not going to last long, then going to settle and then go again. But this is kind of a limit order. And again, something that I do around 30, 40% of the buys that I want to get in is something like that over there. Okay, your sign will be the bottom break of the trend. Okay, and there's two zones that I see Bitcoin going to. The first one is we come down to 102, and the second one is we come to 100,000 to 101. So give you a bit of idea that it could be a nice little 3-4% shakeout. The only problem that you will see is Bitcoin dominance has been coming down. So this is actually quite interesting. I'll go through this now over here. If we have the pullback, it's very likely you're going to get a spike in dominance, which means if Bitcoin comes down 3%, your altcoins can come down 8%, 10%. Right? Gives you a bit of an idea over there as well. Okay, so that's the first play there. Is the trap, the two areas. Again, you'll have two opportunities to buy something on the first dip off on some stop losses, not stop losses, limit orders. And secondly, when we have bounced, there will be a second opportunity for you to load up some more. So it doesn't give too much pressure to go all in when it happens at any point. Now, let's quickly speak about the bull scenario. Okay, again, the bull scenario, Bitcoin must kind of break all-time highs in the next day. For as long as we're slowly printing up like this, I'm going to keep having a little trap on my mind, okay? But until then, it's got to break. This will be the opportunity. This will really be the one. And if you look at that on the total 3, and I just want to show you the total 3 here. you see the resistance we are in right now? We have quite a big resistance ahead of us. You see these tops here. We haven't gotten through this yet. But if we decide to get through this, Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, and we get through this, that's where we're buying. It means this market ain't going to pull back for no one. It's going to pull back on the break over there, and that's where we're going to get it, and that's where we're going to rock it. For now, this is what it looks like on alts. Remember, if this is what I'm saying, what I think it can be, because there's two scenarios. Either it's going to be just a little slow pullback, which will last 2-3 days, and then we get going again, or if the leverage wick plays out, it might over-exaggerate a little bit, which means you'll see a quick wick, won't last there long, bounce very quickly. So setting some cheeky limit orders at some good prices also makes sense. Okay, but all we'll see is, because we're not through this resistance on alt yet, we come down to support, hit a quick wick, and then you'll see it, you'll blink, and it will be basically back up there, go and continue. So what this looks like on your alts, here's the example. ETH is also making that uptrend. So I'm sure many people right now, ETH is bull, 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 bull. When it's doing something like this, I am bullish inside, but I know that there is better buys incoming. Until ETH is outside of the top of this trend over here, this is what I should look for. So again, the trap on something like ETH is a drop to the 2.223, and then we go. That is currently where some limit orders will be setting. And again, I ain't just going to talk, right? And I'm sitting in some cash here. My leverage, I am so in love with just taking profits on leverage trades right now. It's incredible. So I took some profits. I was on 40K. I'm on 186K. We know the discount was at 200, went to 1.2 million, came all the way down a lot. Crazy, right? But I'm back at these areas here. So some limit orders for me important. So again, I'm just going to show you one of them, and then I'm going to fly through. So my limit orders example will be at 2,320. One of my limit orders over here. Okay, not too much. I don't need to go crazy on the leverage here. Let's reduce some leverage. Go to a nice little over here. Okay, and 2,320. 2,320. Okay, and put some money in over there. Boom. Okay, so again, what am I doing now? I'm just setting a couple limit orders, because I'm just waiting. You want to break the top? No problem. I get in if you do this, but that's where I want to buy it. If I get it there, that's the sexy one over there. So it gives you an idea. Things like Dogecoin, a lot of these alts are not actually going to go much lower than where they went the other day. So it gives you that opportunity. I spoke about the opportunity the other day. So if you look at this now, I look at a resistance above it, the red box, and I look at where's the support here. And the support is basically where it went through the other day. Okay, so there's the buys for me on Doge. Okay, if I go look at Ondo as an example, same pretty buys that we were previously. I'm just marking the previous supports when the market comes down into these zones over here, knowing that it's up to a 10%. Here's Cardano. My Cardano buys are sitting at the 75 to 78 cent mark over here. But what it is doing is we are imprinting good habits, right? This is the good thing that we are doing. We're getting ourselves into good habits and excitement, because there is nothing better than waking up and the market has tanked 10% and your limit orders have triggered. You just waited that little bit and it happened, right? There's no better feeling, right? Then when you've done that. And again, I know that there's resistance above, be on the other side. So there you have Cardano. There you have things like NIA. So not too much damage, okay? But just remember that these little wicks can be a little bit exaggerated, something like that, and then we get going. I think it's healthy. I think the market needs it right now. Here is Casper. So guys, go look at what has broken out, because this excites you. Casper just broke out of this wedge. Massive inverse head and shoulders, bullish as hell. Now I'm interested to buy it. I let it break out first. Great, I'm being responsible. Now come into my fat zone that you just broke out, and let's go, baby. I'm in. That's where I want to buy it. But it shows me what I want to buy next. Casper is 100% a token I want to buy next. It is broken out of the range. And this is something that I want to damn catch, right? Solana. There is Sol, but Sol's doing the same thing. Slide up over there. So at any point now, shake Sol down to 158, 162, and then we get going again, right? Exciting. So again, I'm going over here. I'm clicking my damn Solana. Okay, let's click on Sol here. Again, just pop in a nice little limit order or two. And you know what's incredible as well? Oh, nice trade. 174% trade on Sol. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so over here, let's go. I'm going to go 161.5, right? So let's pop it in quickly. 161.5. 161.5. Amazing. And put a little bit of cash in over there. Set the limit order. Okay, Sol's another one I really want, because I think Sol is behind. Okay. And I actually think something is Trump speaking today. I heard Trump speaking to you today. Is he speaking today? Now, wouldn't this be the perfect time for a wick? He comes out, he says something, market, and then we get going, right? Right? You never know, right? And then after that, bull again. I think people are ready for bull again, but this is not one of the perfect times for a little bit of manipulation, right? We know how the game works at any point over there. So there's Sol, right? Sonic, great buys incoming on Sonic on the pullback over here as well. Right, so it gives you a really good idea. Algo is another one I really want. So hopefully by tomorrow, we're sitting fat in all the zones, so we can just go through altcoin, altcoin, altcoin after altcoin with each other. Okay, but for now, it is showing me, and I'm just loving seeing what's popping now. Like, look at Thorchain. We waited for this thing. This thing, we all those remember, it went through one of the craziest dumps ever. But look at this catch-up trade. Now, again, I don't want to touch this thing here, right? But let it come down over here. And I'm like, oh, sexy. I'm in, right? That's what I want. But look at that. It's broken out. It's gotten out of bear territory. And this thing's going to now start its uptrend back to recovery. The company survived after something tough. It got through it, right? And it gives you a good understanding. Your meme coins are going crazy, but time them. Because if you're on the wrong side, like you bought over here, right? Just an example. This thing was pumping today. You buy it, right? Look how you can go into 23% drawdown like this. Right? Don't be that person. If you want to buy these things, cool. But buy them on supports, buy them in the right pullback. And if you want a good idea of Sheldon, but there's so many areas here, which one would bounce on, look for 2 or 3 confirmations that will highlight one area more than another. For example, I take this trend and I put it at the bottom, right? And it basically shows me that, okay, this is more or less, if we had to pull back more or less in here, is there any support that is matching this? And you see on the left-hand side here, the highs and the lows, that's support. So if I wanted to buy something like Popcat, right, I wanted to buy it at the best place that is still in a bullish territory. There it gives me the area, right? So it gives me a couple. Now you can also use moving averages. You can use RSIs. You can use a bunch of different things to help you. Just make sure you got 2 or 3 things that are highlighting. Here is things like Chainlink. I cannot buy into resistance, guys. Big mistake. Right? Big mistake that we're seeing over here. I have to wait for this over here. And again, support is what I buy. You want to break through it? No problem. And that's where I'll buy it, right? Keeping damn level headed. Okay, what else went crazy? I actually want to go through here. Let me know in the chat if you see anything that went absolutely berserk over this weekend. Is there anything that is kind of new that's really moving? Everything as a whole. I see Theta is really starting to wake up. I see Dogecoin's also starting to look incredibly good. I don't know what this one is. Pi Network, no idea. I'll start having a look into it over here as well. But I look at this and I'm like, these coins are starting to rocket. Let's go see if they pull back big supports, what I want to buy. So this gives me a really good idea of where to pay my attention to over here. Someone says virtuals. Let's go through on virtuals over here. Virtuals. Okay, I actually got it set up over here. Let's go through and see virtuals. Okay, so that's my play on virtuals. Right now, it's still got resistance. My buys are still sitting here, 1.75, 1.85. That's where I'd buy it. But after that, yeah, yeah, something crazy, right? Over there, XRP. Let's go have a look at the XRP. It feels weird not having XRP this pump, right? We had XRP the whole of the last pump. Like, come on, XRP, where you at? XRP is good. So it's first higher high, you could see. So that's your buy zones over there. So you can see the pullback is not too bad. Again, if there's a leverage wick, it might go a little bit more. So laddering in is super important. But guys, we are feeling good right now, keeping ourselves level-headed, and things are rocking at this point. Pepe is also just incredible over there. Guys, a couple of shout-outs over here. Remember exchange accounts. I'm trading with WeX over here. If you want WeX account, link below. Okay, you can get up to $100. You can get even more by signing up, depositing, taking your first trade. Go to your reward section and claim it. So it's a bunch of free money, but great exchange. Okay, if you're looking for a strong non-KYC exchange, WeX is one that I'm using. Another one is Albank. Great exchange, great rewards over here as well. Okay, they give cashbacks. You get discounts on fees as you upgrade and you go. And it's the same with BTCC as well. You guys know I'm giving away money here. I'm still holding the cash that I made from the last trade. I said I'm going to take another trade. And when I'm ready for this, I'm going to distribute to anyone that has deposited on my BTCC link. But the main thing why I'm telling you this over here is because Sniper School is incoming, baby. Okay, we are not far from the next Sniper School cohort. okay? And this is where you can get in for free. So click in over here. If you're using any of those exchange links, click here on Sniper School and join. For those that are in Sniper Club, make sure that you've gone and claimed the Sheldon indicator. You have it for 7 days. Then it's going in for final testing. And then after that, you are then getting the indicator, right? This thing just called a short on Bitcoin. Crazy. Short time frames, it gives you short-term trades. It gives you long-term trades. Just to show you here as an example, let's actually go through a couple of alts and see what it's telling us right now. There's nothing on ETH right now. Oof, look here. Called the short on Doge, called the take profits on Doge. 5-minute chart, right? Then called the buy, and then called the take profits. Look at that. Short, take profit. Buy, take profit on the 5-minute. There's 2 banger trades for you in the last 5% and 5%. Incredible. So guys, those are in club. Remember to go redeem. You are back testing my indicator for me before we launch to the masses. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow with tons of altcoins. Hopefully they are in buy zones. Either we have broken out, maybe we're still trading but sideways, and we are going to lock down on getting the next best entries. Guys, love you lots. I'll see you tomorrow. Be sober at a drunk party, and we're going to have an incredible party together. Love you lots. Goodbye.